Hi, my name is Garrett Smith. I want to talk to you about what inflation is and what inflation is not. I also want to talk about how it affects you and what differences it is going to make in your life, in your financial life as a person in the United States economy. Inflation is an expansion of the money supply. Inflation is not, as Webster's Dictionary and some other financial outlets will tell you, a general rise in prices. A general rise in prices is typically brought on by an expansion of the money supply. Again, inflation is in and of itself an inflation of the money supply. If inflation were simply just a general rise in prices that was brought on by some say a rise in the price of oil, this would really not be a problem for the general economy because you'd be spending more on oil and you'd have less money to spend on other things. And really it would be a zero sum game and it wouldn't really make that much of a difference overall in the economy. The problem is that is not how inflation works. Inflation works by banks who are members of the Federal Reserve System in our economy. They create new money. And I mean it just in the simplest sense. They make up new money. They print new dollars. They print these new dollars. The large customers of these banks and financial institutions, they get to spend that money on goods and services first. They invest that money first, and then that money makes its way down to you last. And the reason that it's important to understand first and last is because the first people get to spend that money as if it's worth something, and then eventually it's realized in the economy, the people who get the money last, that there's an increase in the supply of money. And what happens when you increase the supply of something? The price of it, the value of it goes down. That means the middle and lower class who get to spend that money last, they now have worthless paper dollars that they're holding. And if it were simply just a general rise in prices, that would mean that their wages would generally rise too. But typically what happens in an inflationary environment, which is what we've been under for the last 30 years, what happens is you pay more for goods and services and your wages, they lag behind that inflation rate. And that's how inflation works. You're confiscating wealth from the middle and lower class and it's being redistributed to the upper class. Inflation does not make you richer. Inflation only makes you pay more for goods and services.